So we just had a nice 300 TDI brought to us this morning for a air conditioning fit. This one's a 300, so it's a nice easy fit. Compressor mounts on there. You've already got a spare drive pulley for the compressor belt. So it's a very simple, straightforward fit. The aircon core unit will go in that corner where the old heater box is. So AC, very straightforward, but inside, using the stock dash is going to be a little bit more involving, because obviously there's no facial vents on a stock dash. You've got either demisters at the top or footwell, and for aircon you really need to have air blowing at your face, otherwise it doesn't really have the same effect. So we're going to take this centre part out here, take the radio out, and these switches out here, cut a panel. We're going to fit the Mud UK centre console will go in there. We will put the radio and switches back on again, and at the same time we'll cut some air holes into the existing air box to feed air up to the face. So that's how the plan's going to work. Defender dash, and we'll put our AC in it, which means you don't have to compromise the footwell areas. Normally you'd put one down here somewhere and all this area will be full of AC. You don't need that, it'll all be here. All you'll get is two vents and a switch, and the rest of the AC is under the bonnet. Right, we'll get to work on that and we'll show progress as we go along. So the first stage of this is to take out the old heater box. So that's with the heater box removed. That would take its air normally from this top air intake, so that's all gone. The side pipes have gone, the inlet ducts have gone. We'll put our heater box with air conditioning in this same space so it doesn't compromise anything else in the engine bay. This is a shell casing. This is one before we've made it up, just to show the aircon box before it's actually fitted. So that will go, once fitted it would go in there, something like that. So that would blow air then back into the dashboard using the same hole at the top, but it would use that aperture there to actually suck air from the footwell. So you have to cut that square out to the same dimensions as the actual box that we're fitting on it. That becomes the air intake, so it pulls air from the footwell into the AC unit, blows it through, conditions the air back into the dashboard, back into the cabin. That's how it looks. Right, so we're back into the interior again now, putting the mud stuff console in the middle to house the extra vents and all the controls for the air conditioning. It needs to be stripped back to this point, so you need to take the top rail off and then the two plastic covers on the inside so you can get to the top of the airbox here. We're going to put a couple of holes in there, but also to get to that part there, the grommets, through the bulkhead, so you can put the wires and cables through for the controls. Good thing about this, if you buy the mud stuff console, which sits something like that in the middle, when you get the mud stuff console all the instructions come with it, so it's pretty straightforward. But for the aircon you have to go a little bit further back to get all the wires through the back. So you need to get to that stage before you can move forward. Okay, we're a little bit further on now with this 300, so let me just show you the hole. That's the hole in the footwell, the passenger footwell. That's where the AC box is going to draw the air in. That will be the air intake for the heater air conditioning box. That's how it recirculates the air, obviously back into the normal bulkhead. Flange at the top, into the dash, into the airbox, but that's the actual hole there. When you cut it away, obviously you're removing some of the sound deadening. You are putting a hole in the firewall, so it's important to put some soundproofing back on it. So we put the soundproofing round, the soundproofing on the bottom of the AC box. That will form a nice seal. It'll clamp down and not let any noise through. There's also the insect screen on the front. Obviously you've got to protect insects and debris from getting in, clogging up the fan and clogging up the core. You don't want that. so a little protection on there to help it to last longer. The wires are through from the front, the cable's through from the front, so that's all ready to be put in. And we've got the air conditioning compressor on. It's a universal mount that we've got here. We've found this ourselves, it works really well. You can get a genuine one, but they're quite hard to get hold of now on 300s. And of course, genuine mount usually means genuine compressor, which is obviously, you know, you're doubling the price. With a universal mount, you can get universal compressors and save yourself a lot of money. Okay, a little bit further on, air conditioning box is fitted. As mentioned before, it uses the top two attachments, the same ones as the old heater box. On this side you've got the two pipe inlets and outlet for the heater core, and on that side you've got inlet and outlet for the evaporator for air conditioning. Not wired up yet, but we've got everything in. It is plumbed in, so we've got all the pipe work finished off. So the number 10 suction pipe from the evaporator runs round to the compressor, then we've got the number 8 discharge from the compressor going down into the condenser radiator at the top, and then number 6 at the bottom comes out, runs along and up into the receiver dryer bottle with the pressure switch, and then it goes from there back round to the evaporator to create the full circuit. So that's all finished, pressurized, all tested, no problems at all. We mount the condenser radiator on the cross stays usually. We can do that, just put it behind the cross stays, and that way you can put the condenser on without needing the extra front grille. That saves you some money. You don't need the extension grille for this, and if you get a big enough condenser on it, that's a pretty big one, you don't need the fans either, so that saves you some money too, because this just runs off the normal viscous fan from the engine. That's plenty. If you do mount it on the cross stays, it's quite simple to do, but make sure you put some sort of protective membrane on where it touches. Obviously aluminium and steel, if they touch together, they don't like contact with each other, so you get a lot of corrosion on those points. So just protect them with something, sort of barrier, just to help it to last a bit longer. That's about it for air conditioning. That's all done. Just need to wire it in now and finish off the dashboard, and that's all done. This is the look from the inside. So you can see the soundproofing material on and the insect screen there to protect debris from getting inside and damaging the fan and the core. A couple of screws either side. What we do there, it's a way to clamp the bottom part of the AC unit down tight against the footwell roof. So you basically just put a couple of screws in here, so you drill there and there, and what we do is we put say a 5mm or a 4mm through the bulkhead. So you drill a larger hole through the bulkhead first, swap bits round, put like a 2mm on it or a 3mm, and then go through the actual casing on the AC unit base, and then you can put a screw through and clamp the two together. We did start off by putting pre-drilled holes into the base of the AC unit, so these are already in place, but trying to get these things lined up with the holes was almost impossible. You ended up drilling holes anyway, so we just took it off, and all you do now is just get the actual unit in place with the two top brackets from the engine bay first, get it all nicely secure, and then come in here, drill through, clamp it down, and that's it, finished. So here we are back inside again, doing the interior part. Engine side's almost finished now. We've cut out the space as before for the console, and then onto the top of the airbox we've actually cut two holes where the air will blow through. Obviously a stock standard Defender dashboard doesn't have any facial vents, so we've had to add facial vents. So So they blow up through the bottom of the cones, coming up to the top of the airbox. We've tried the power. You'd probably be okay just to put cones on and just trap the air blowing through. There's quite a lot of power there. What we've actually done is put some coaxial fans on to boost the power, so they'll be on variable controls on the dashboard. There's a variable control unit there, and that will actually suck the air through and give like a power boost to the facial vent. So that's like a power vent. That'll be a variable control, which is this little thing here, and that will vary the speed from 0 to full. So rather than having a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that will just basically go from nothing to full, and you can vary that and put that wherever you want it to be. So that gives you complete control over the facial vents and the airflow to the face. So just need to put that all on now, plumb it all in, get the wiring finished off with the switches, and that's the inside more or less finished. So here we are with the finished article, all done. Everything working perfectly well. Aircon box in the corner there. The hot water pipes are all wired in with the valve. Compressor's doing its job. It'll cycle down to about 2 degrees before it kicks out with the thermostat. All nicely balanced, no problems whatsoever with that. It's going really well. You see ice flashing on the suction pipe. That's how cold it's getting. Beautiful. Once it's a certain temperature, the clutch kicks out on the compressor. Yeah, really nice, really nice. So inside, all nicely finished off on the interior now. There's the AC switch. We've got heated seats, front and rear lights on this as well. Heated front screen. Second heated seat, and then here are the vents that we've put in, the extra vents. That's just on setting number 1, and that's coming through beautiful and cold, really strong. We probably don't need the extra purge of this. There's probably enough coming through without it. But if you wanted the extra bit of air in the cabin, we have got this little dial here. This is the potentiometer. This activates the motorised vents, the power vents, so we turn that up. It's stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And then absolutely, wow. That really blasts air out. Get really hot and want to cool down really quickly, just turn that one on, because obviously the more, if you turn the fan up higher, that's good, but you're also putting more strain on the evaporator core doing that. The faster the air goes through the core, the less chance it has to cool down. So you put it on maybe 1 or 2, but turn that one up instead. That's sucking air, that's drawing air in from the aircon box, not putting any extra strain on the aircon box at all. The aircon's wired up, the power vents and the AC switch are wired up onto the blower control. So if you turn the blower control off, it will also turn the air conditioning off. That's a safety mechanism so that you can't run the AC without the blower on, or it freezes the core. So again, we turn the core blower back on, AC comes back on automatically. So that's a safety device. The second safety device is the thermostat in the core. The third safety device is the pressure switch. That all protects the core, it all protects the compressor. Much longer life. So that's going really well. Really pleased with that. These facial vents work superbly well. You always imagine how things are going to be and think, yeah, that'll work, but until you do with them, you're never really sure. But that's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So you've got your hot water control here, and then your fan. Power vents in the middle for extra air. We've kept the original rear windscreen washer. We've put a new 12-volt socket in there. Top switches are all brand new. Mud console works really well. Yeah, beautiful. Really nice fit. And that's it, that's all done. That's heater upgrade, air conditioning fitted, dashboard upgrade, all in one. That's taken a couple of days. Such a difference to a truck now. Really pleased with that. Look at the ice on there, beautiful. Happy driving.